Yeah, so to give a little background for those who aren't familiar, so our office has been sued by the Department of Justice related to voter roll maintenance. Um, the Department of Justice has actually sued, I think, 30 states at this point in time looking for voter roll information. We got a request last August asking for the entire voter rolls for the state of Idaho. Within 2 weeks, we provided the entire list for the state of Idaho. So we provided the same voter list that you're very familiar with and others are. Every registered voter. We've been working closely with Department of Homeland Security on our voter roll maintenance efforts. We've actually helped build the SAVE system, working with DHS in that process. The thing that we didn't provide to the Department of Justice was dates of birth, social security number, and driver's license. Every other piece of information we've shared, just not that personal identifying information. And going back and forth for months with them really wanting it. We believe they have the information they need to do the work that they're saying that they want to do. And Idaho law doesn't authorize me to share that information. I'm prohibited. I have to protect certain voter information. I can't give it to you. I can't give it to anybody else. So we've protected it. In our back and forth, ultimately, Department of Justice has been pretty aggressive about these cases, and so they filed a lawsuit. Ours is still sitting in the court system. Our hearing's been punted to the end of June. We'll watch it, but I feel really good throughout the process. I think it's important to note I've consulted with the Attorney General, so Raul is very familiar with it. His office. We've worked together to both review Idaho law as well as federal law to determine what is Department of Justice eligible to have, what are they not, and more importantly, it's less about the suit and more just making sure we are doing the voter roll maintenance. One of the things, if you listen to the Department of Justice, they're focused on making sure no non-citizens are voting. You and I have talked about that before. We did a huge effort leading into the 2024 presidential election with the Only Citizens Can Vote Act to do a verification with DHS to make sure there were no non-citizens on our rolls. And we identified 11 cases that ironically were turned over from ISP to the Department of Justice for prosecution that we're still awaiting prosecution from DoJ. So there's a little, and you can see that in our correspondence, a little push and pull on both sides saying like, wait, what are you checking here? We've given you exactly what you want. Now go do something with it. Let's hold people accountable.
So, yeah, that's the narrative I'm seeing online is that it's something to do with illegal voters and such.
That's what everyone's worried about, and we are doing work on that. I want to reassure anybody who's watching or listening. We've been very proactive. Again, before the presidential election in 2024, we did a full effort to compare every registered voter in the state of Idaho to ensure that we can validate citizenship information. And we now have built in processes where we continue to do it. And to the point of, I was invited back, it was May of 2025, to the White House to consult with DHS and Social Security Administration on how to improve the system based on the work we were doing headed into it. So like we've been very active working with DHS. The DOJ efforts are separate from the White House and separate from DHS. And so that's part of it too, is we feel like we're in the good graces with the White House. To put it, I would share because it surprises people. I think you know this. I was at the White House for St. Patrick's Day. Mm-hmm. Heck, recently I was invited to go to the UFC fight for personal reasons. I can't make it. I wish I could get over there. I feel like I've got a great relationship with the administration. And so I know online it can look like this is all one simple thing. Like these are different groups for different reasons. And I feel pretty comfortable in terms of the suit, how we'll end up as a state.